All right, guys, Rex versus ASTREA. Keep in mind, we got best of fives for every single match here. The Tasteless LAN party.
Inverted?
Right, that threw me off too. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Where do I even change this?
Mouse and keyboard, I would think.
Invert drag scroll at the bottom.
What psychopath does this? Hello?
I play with that.
Holy.
I just
Do you?
observed with that.
Are you
and it's
serious?
Tough, honestly.
That was the default in like Warcraft 3, so I was used to it.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
And
Wow.
Same.
Dota as well, because it got it from Warcraft 3.
That makes me wonder if I actually
Everyone
play
who plays
with,
the game's a psychopath then.
That makes me wonder if I play with inverted, because I started with Warcraft 3 as
yeah.
well, you know?
It feels so weird to do it the opposite way.
It's
I
so
have to get used to it.
unintuitive. You go one way and go the other. Like, it feels strange.
Yeah, certainly does. Well, ASTREA coming in here with a quick scout. Gonna block the natural expansion for Rex. And Sasha, we were talking a little bit about this matchup coming into this. You think ASTREA is favored here?
Yeah, I think he's pretty heavily favored going into this.
Yeah? Solar was kind of saying the same thing. Solar will be facing the winner of Rex versus ASTREA. And in his interview, he was talking about how he thinks that ASTREA is, a really strong Protoss player right now, and he's most worried about facing him.
Yeah. And also, I know that they've been practicing together a lot recently for the DreamHack matches. Like, ASTREA played with Rex for Rex's match against Haas. And then, yeah, same ASTREA played with Rex for his match against me. So they definitely know how each other plays, and I think that favors ASTREA being a stronger player.
So do you think we're going to see some mind games coming into this match, or
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
maybe a little bit?
Faking a bit of all-ins.
Will we see the Adepts this game? That's the question.
Maybe. I mean, considering the way that the series against Solar went for Creator, it wasn't the best performance.
Right.
I mean, kind of shaky, not only on the offense, but also on the defense, Like, we had a 4-gate Adept build in game number 1 with Creator. In game 3, I think it was like 6 or 7-gate Adept also, just not finding any damage, no drone kills, but...
Yeah, it would have been nice to see one Stargate game thrown in there just to mix it up a bit.
Well, he did go for a Stargate, I think, in game 2.
Game 2 on
and
Game
2.
yeah, and then Solar went for that, he went for a 4-queen drop with, like, Ravagers and Lings and just absolutely just destroyed him. I mean, the defense of the third was pretty strong there for Creator, but when he came into the natural expansion, everything just fell apart. And Rex now getting some scouting information. It will be a Stargate here for ASTREA, so no Twilight Council just yet. And it was interesting to me that Solar, in his interview, kind of said that he doesn't think Twilight Council openings are very good in this matchup right now. Sasha, do you have the same opinion?
Twilight Council openings, it's more about trying to trick your opponent a little bit, like throwing them off. If they know exactly what build you're going to do, they can definitely get a little bit of a lead if they play well. And with Stargate, it's like the more standard option. So if you think you can win in a normal game, Stargate's definitely the safer way to play.
Right, we do see that Stargate coming down now, so we'll have to see if it's going to be Oracle, Void Ray, Oracle, or double Oracle, or what he's going to go for here.
Yeah, a couple different options. ASTREA going to opt for the Oracle to begin, and so we have a little bit of downtime. Want to thank a Noose Baby for buying or gifting 2 items of merch. He says, loving the new merch. The Tasteles designs are hilarious. I agree. It's
True.
like one of the
amazing.
best shirts that I've ever seen.
I'm wearing this t-shirt right now. The fabric actually feels great. It's very comfortable, and the designs are sick. All references to games that we all know and love. So.
And that was
That was the most amazing plug I've ever heard. That was great.
I'm so impressed. Is there anything you can't do, Steve?
Please just sell out a little bit more
Played
for us.
this game well.
We also had 2 anonymous donators of $25 each, and Son of Hisashi also donated $25. Says, Gemini fan here. More builds of the week, please, Gemini.
Oh, thanks, man. Sorry, but no. Yeah, that's unfortunately that's something that I don't quite have time to do anymore, but I do appreciate that. I'm glad that they're helpful, been helpful in the past.
First Oracle comes in, gets a couple of drones there, and then deflected by Rex. And right now an 8-worker discrepancy here between ASTREA and Rex. What are your thoughts on that?
An 8-worker lead? It's pretty nice to get 3 drones. Usually the Zergle kind of catch up to the Protoss around the high 30 drone count, so when we see he's still ahead here, it's definitely very good for the Protoss.
Yeah, he has to spend a couple drones on this Spore Crawler, the Evo Chamber. Obviously, due to the production cycles, he will catch up eventually. 7 drones going down already, starting to become significant. So we'll see how much more damage he can get done here. The Adepts are shading in.
Yeah, not going to let that finish. And now Twilight Council, Forge, and Robo coming in all at the same time here for ASTREA. So looking to transition out of that Stargate play, just going to be the 2 Oracles. not too heavy on the air, but no Spore Crawler here, and that's going to be a little bit more damage, even
Another
catching the
6.
drones in on the transfer. 6 drones in total going down, and although Rex was able to claw back in the worker count, ASTREA pushes him back down, and now, once again, significant worker lead in the favor of the Protoss player. 13 drones in total going down there for Rex, which is a lot more than we often see from 2 Oracles.
And we do see the +1 melee coming out here from Rex, so he might be playing a very Lingbane heavy composition where you might split your army into 2 places and try to hit like the 4th and the natural, or catch the Protoss out position and get some economic damage done there. Especially once you get that +2 melee, if you start to one-shot workers with those Banelings, that could be an option here.
Yeah, this build's got a lot more popular this year since the Protosses have been playing with Blinkstalkers a lot more commonly. But we see here ASTREA is going into the charge and the Archons, the Immortals. So this build is a bit more greedy from ASTREA. It would have a trouble if Rex did a build similar to what Soli did on Waterfall against Creator Game 2. But he's definitely going to get away with it here, and it's going to be a little bit of a favored build for him.
15 drones in total now going down.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Yeah, we haven't really been seeing too much of this kind of charge lot Archon Immortal style find, you know, a lot of success recently at the top level of PBZ in Korea. So we'll see what ASTREA is able to do, but as it's been going so far, so many drones going down, you kind of got to feel that unless Rex makes a big play, it seems like any composition ASTREA decides to go for, he's going to have the advantage, right?
Yeah, and I think he notices he's not going for Blink Stalkers here, and he's going back into Roaches, which makes this melee upgrade not as useful right now. But obviously if he adds in the Banelings later, it could still be. But right now, ASTREA's moving out across the map with a pretty, not a really scary army, but he's going to force Rex to make a lot of units here, which he doesn't really want to. He'd like to be droning, and actually is dropping down a Spire. Yeah,
Rex is only just now equalized in the worker count, and ASTREA, he might actually be committing quite a bit. Coming into the Warp Prism, 1 more Archon will be morphed in. 4 Zealots as well, and keep in mind he does have at least 6 force fields on those 2 sentries.
Oh, this is getting real scary.
Yeah, Rex doesn't have a lot here.
Guardian Shield goes down, the Zealots engage, the Roaches are behind, sectioned off here. And
beautiful force field.
Very nice. The Zealots are stuck behind them though, which actually hurt ASTREA a little bit there, maybe.
Yeah, he was able to catch a couple of Roaches and then pull the Zealots back, and then once again, as Rex moved forward, catching a Queen, a handful more Roaches, just really methodical pushing here from ASTREA. And he just has so much stuff, so many Zealots and Archons just getting a lot of damage in. And notice that he's keeping the Oracles back as he's dealing with the Queen counts. Once those Queen counts start to fall, don't be surprised if those Oracles also join the fray, as this hatchery is going to go down.
And in such a dominant position here on the high ground, Rex is unable to get any kind of positional advantage, and another force field splits his army again, and the numbers are overwhelming for ASTREA here.
Yeah, 4 Archons in total, a handful of Immortals, and a lot of Zealots as well, as Rex really isn't making a lot of ground here on the defense. ASTREA continuing to keep up the pressure.
ASTREA's on 78 workers on 4 bases while doing this push. He's in a very, very dominant position here in game number 1.
Even the Stasis Ward buying him a little bit of time there on the retreat. And ASTREA, after killing the 4th base there for Rex and having a 4th Nexus up of his own, feeling confident just to kind of retreat, regroup, build up his army just a little bit. And now a mutalist transition coming in from Rex. 5 mutas in production. They will eventually be able to catch this Warp Prism, but Mutalisk's not very good in a straight-up fight, and you got to think that ASTREA, once he sees this transition happening, is going to go for the killing blow, right?
Yeah, I think it'll make him attack right away. You never really want to just let the mutas get value over time, and he doesn't really have a great way to deal with it right now. He has no Blink yet, and he has no Phoenixes out, so he's probably just going to attack him.
Right, and he does have the overwhelming advantage in the ground armies, numbers-wise. And now we see Rex going into those Banelings with the +2 upgrade. So he kind of had to halt his game plan for a long time here, switch into Roaches just to deal with that push. Now he's going to try and go back to it whilst getting damage with these Mutalists and see if he can get back economically.
Yeah, the Mutas are able to find a good number of probes, 8 going down in the main base, and Rex at the same time, he recognizes that ASTREA might be going for an attack, and he's going to try and keep him on the back foot here, moving across with his army. He has to watch out for that Stasis Ward. And surprisingly, the Warp Prism not captured by any mutas there, not going down. Instead, ASTREA going to get a lot of counter damage in. 8 drones, in fact.
I love these Stasis Wards everywhere in these key choke points to make sure that these Ling run-bys aren't doing the damage they could potentially. And the Mutas are trying to get some damage done, but seem to be repelled whilst he moves across the map here with his high value tech units. He has the Zealot attack on this other base here.
Yeah, ASTREA trying to hit from two sides, and it looks like this hatchery will go down barely.
Yep.
So close. Those 4 Zealots finally able to finish it off. Another Warpin in the main base, but Roaches are ready and waiting for it. But it's really just a diversion as ASTREA is going to be hitting the next base. Storm goes down, hits all the Lings and a lot of Roaches, and 4 Immortals, 5 Immortals in fact, getting a ton of damage in. Follow-up Storm's not good enough, but man, the force field section off the army. 2 hatcheries go down, and ASTREA is going to win map number 1. GG comes in, and man, that was a nice win out of ASTREA. That was some nice Protoss play.
Very clean, and I'd like to know, what do you think about the choice to switch into the Roaches after getting that +1?
I think it's definitely the safest way to play it for Rex. You can kind of try and defend with Ling Bane, but it can be hard against the Archons.
Right.
So switching into the Roaches is fine. The biggest problem for him is he lost way too many drones to the Oracle pressure.
True.
And it just made it hard for him. What we saw ASTREA do with the attack, it wasn't really an all-in at all. He was on 3 base saturation, making it 4th and +2 behind it.
Yep.
And generally all he wants to do is trade out the Zealots, use up his sentry energy, and even just killing Zealots for Roaches and forcing out some units. That's enough for him, but getting the 4th base, that definitely just ended the game right there. Effectively.
Right, the economic situations almost looked reversed, right? We saw the Protoss on 4 bases with 78 workers at one point to like the 66 maybe of Rexes on 3 bases after that hatchery was taken out. And yeah, he just had the macro cycles go in with a big army supply advantage.
Beautifully summed up. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, map number 2 between Rex and ASTREA. Hello and welcome back to the TASTELESS LAN party. We just finished map number 1 between Rex and ASTREA, getting ready to go into map number 2. ASTREA looking really good in that first map. Nice, solid play. Got a lot of drone kills there with the Oracles. Feeling pretty confident in his chances of moving on?
Yeah, I think he's going to keep playing this way. Pretty standard. Maybe switch up in the opening like Nexus first or something, but you know, I think he's definitely really favored. He probably feels confident going into it.
Do you think this map choice will have any impact on the strategies we see here in game number 2?
Yeah, I mentioned Nexus first because Nexus first is actually pretty decent on this map, so it might change up the opening that way. But I still think most likely he'll follow it up with Stargate or something.
Yeah, ASTREA is one of those Protoss players that kind of goes Nexus first more than others at the top level. At least in my experience watching him play, it feels like he does that almost once in every series.
Yeah, he definitely plays it more than other pro players. And this map is especially good for it. You can go like 1 gate and a Cybercore and wall off at the natural, so you're really kind of safe. And it's far, so Zerg's not likely to 12 pool, but I don't think he'll do it considering he's scouting so early. In the end.
Are any Zergs doing like early pulls as a response to that on this map? As a kind of mind game? Not really?
Not really, no, because I mean ASTREA is the only one that does Nexus first, really.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough.
It's a risky play too if you go for against a gate first opening with how fast the Protoss players scout in the current meta. If you go for pool first, it could be devastating.
Yeah, I know 12 pool was popular for a while there on the ladder.
when have 12 pool, 6 pool, and 4 pool not been popular?
Yeah. But especially versus Protoss, though, if they are greedy, you can sometimes get those cheeky wins. We do see
Gas pool after the hatchery.
Oh, he has the hatchery at the 3rd base here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was forced to take this location.
So on this map, you can kind of choose between which 3rd base you want to take for the Zerg. And I think the bottom one's getting more popular considering Rex's spawn location, because then you can go towards the gold base faster. Whereas the way Rex is expanding, it's going to take a long time before you can ever take the gold base. So,
what are the advantages of going for kind of the triangle formation of bases, though, as opposed to moving towards the gold?
Some people prefer it for defending against the Stargate units, I think.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then you generally have more choices for the next expansions. Like your 4th and 5th are both equally close to you.
Whereas if you go for the south base, you kind of... Do you feel like you're generally forced to go for the gold, given the position of it? Or is it just almost always going to be the choice because of how coveted that gold base is?
Well, you have to take the gold generally as like your 5th base there. And it's pretty far away, so it influences your playstyle a little bit. It's harder to defend, so you're making more units in that case. But I think it's nice for the Zerg regardless.
ASTREA once again opting for the Stargate follow-up here. As we actually had a couple more donations come in. Anonymous, thank you for your $10 donation, as well as Quirky, donating 3 items of merch. Thank you guys very much
Thank
for
you
supporting
so
the
much.
Tasteless LAN party. I, of course, want to see the Pro Gamer Jenga
Absolutely.
at our next goal.
What's the difference between this version and the normal version of Jenga?
I
Do you
don't know exactly. I know that it's kind of like a rip-off or like a knockoff of like
Yeah.
the actual
Yeah.
proper version of Jenga. But yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, like it's wooden blocks, right? Like how it can't be that complicated.
yeah.
Maybe it's like maybe they use like some kind of cheaper wood or something. I don't know.
This one, if you take the piece of block out, the whole thing explodes. You die.
It's like made out of cardboard or something. I imagine it'll be pretty much the same.
He actually snagged a drone there with the Adept, which is gonna make Rex a little bit upset, I think.
Oh, did he?
You never want to lose a drone to
2
the
kills.
Adepts. Yeah, an Adept, a drone and a Zerg.
Yeah, Rex a little bit shaky on the defense against not only Adepts but Oracles here. The first 2 games of this series, and
And we see ASTREA going back into the Oracle again.
That's a mental victory, right? When
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
one drone with that one adept.
One drone is never like that big of a deal, but you get a little annoyed when it happens.
Yeah, and we already see the 3rd base coming down here nice and early for ASTREA. So he's going to be looking to power up into something in the mid game here. The Robo Bay is coming down.
Yeah,
it's
following
a
up
quite
with
fast Robo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's similar to what he played last game, Robo, and maybe Tide Forge, going into the Immortal Charge Archon again.
So you think we'll see the same style here?
Yeah, you would go Twilight first if you want to go into Blink, so it's
Right. And we do see the Evo Chamber coming down again for Rex, so this could be +1 melee again.
Yeah, ASTREA is doing pretty much the same thing, throwing down that Forge and Twilight Council yet again. And suppose he feels confident, given the scouting information that he has gathered, not only with the Adept, but with these 2 Oracles now coming in.
And this defense is going to be key here because we lost so many drones last game. 3 Queens ready in position, only 2 lost so far, and the Spore Crawler is going up at this base. So he's done a little bit better this time round.
Yeah, but the reason why he's able to do better this time is because he was oversaturating the main base where there were 3 Queens. He didn't quite have a Spore Crawler. Oh my goodness.
catches a
Oh,
few drones
he got
with
the
this.
Oracle though.
He does, yeah, he did get the Oracle, but I mean, for Rex, it's not really the ideal situation where you're pulling in an extra 5 or 6 drones to the main base. You're losing not only time of the drones traveling between these bases, but also you're losing the time of them mining in the main because it's going to be very inefficient oversaturating that mineral line. So
I'm not sure he knew it was Oracle until that moment.
yeah,
Because we saw him have 2 drones in the natural, and then he pulled them back to the main and made a Spore pretty late, so he might not have seen the Oracle until they were pretty close to his base. But after getting one of the Oracles, since ASTREA only made 2, he's probably feeling pretty safe now. He's probably not going to make too many drones going forward.
Yeah, he is still slightly behind in the work account, which by 60 he would like to be slightly ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
well,
we see
12 drones in production. So
that'll do it.
Third moment.
That'll do
Zerg's
it.
moment.
I was at the end of the cycle or the beginning of the cycle? 'Cause you never
The ebb and flow of Zerg
Right.
Macro.
And we do see these Immortals coming out again with the charge and the +1 attack. So do you think we'll see a similar push here?
Most likely, yeah.
Even though he hasn't gotten as many drone kills, you think that he still goes through the same follow-up, same timing?
Yeah, it's definitely not something like super committed. You don't have to kill them. You can back off if you need to. It's nice. It also prevents the Zerg from doing something like playing mutas really greedily with no units, because
Right.
they have to make units when they see you moving out.
Again, making the roaches in response to this.
Yeah.
And 10 coming out. I think he's going to be in a much better position to hold this without taking too much economic damage, like losing this 4th base. And hopefully this game will go on a bit longer.
Certainly in a better position than the last game.
Yeah.
Didn't lose double-digit numbers of
No doubt.
drones just yet. And ASTREA, before moving out on the map, instead going to be gearing up for a 4th expansion. So kind of keeping pace here with the Zerg. Zerg 4th hatchery about to finish as ASTREA is getting ready to plant his down. And
Again, we see the prompt attack. The Zealots go down here to the south, and although they do join up again with the main army of Mortals and Sentries, chilling out on creep right now. He's taking out a few tumors. He's pushing in. Let's see the force fields.
yeah, good number of force fields in the pocket right now for ASTREA. 3 sentries, all with about 60% energy in total.
Rex is ready. This is a healthy-looking Zerg army with plenty of transfuses here. And the Bio's raining down, forcing to back off. Archon's now backing up this Protoss army.
Yeah, Rex getting a nice arc here on the defense. ASTREA felt like he had a brief opportunity to capitalize on the position a moment ago, but wasn't able to catch too many Zerg units, and now he is shaving off piece by piece sections of the Zerg army, but losing a lot of sentry energy, losing 1 sentry as well, and he's going to have to retreat because one bad engagement here for ASTREA could prove deadly in this game. And
Absolutely. Pushing off creep here is a little bit dangerous. He has preserved most of his high-tech units here, like the Archons, the Warp Prism, and he's powering up behind this. Constant probe production. He hasn't missed a beat with that. Storm is on the way now, over halfway done. Keep continuing the upgrades, and this is going to be looking like a fairly even-ish kind of game as things play out here.
Oh, he just snagged the Warp Prism with the queens at the bottom there.
That's a
really
nice catch.
Very
And this
nice.
counterattack.
Huge, and the counterattack.
This counterattack could also be very problematic here for Astrea.
High
Rex
Templar.
Storm's
coming
not
into the
ready
4th
yet.
base. Storm
High
isn't
Templar,
ready yet. One
fools.
Templar gets sniped. Templar are pulling back. Storm almost complete now.
Every high
Finally
Templar
done.
so precious.
These Templar are very precious indeed. That Storm goes down on the Ravagers, not big connections, and Zerg getting a lot of damage.
Oh,
And
big Storm.
that Storm hitting a ton of roaches.
But this is it. Rex is moving in.
Yeah, Astrea right now struggling to stabilize. He might be able to manage the defense, but at what cost? There's a lot of critical high-tech units going down.
Right, 7 probes falling as well. The work count's still even somehow. And Astrea pushes him back for now.
Yeah, Astrea was able to defend, but 5 Templar, I think, in total going down, a handful of Archons, at least 2 Immortals as well, as the units lost tab kind of tells the story here.
Right.
Even 3 Archons, yeah. Even though
Definitely.
he didn't really kill many workers, I think Rex is still pretty happy with that. When he does a follow-up attack, say when +2 melee and Bane speed is done, I think he can definitely get a lot of damage done there.
Yeah, that was a huge win there for Rex, really pouncing on an opportunity where Astrea was caught out of position, perhaps not anticipating that attack there. And
You see the Banelings morphing here, but Astrea already has a beautiful Sim City, as Gemini just pointed out. It's going to be very hard to get to those probes and be able to take them out, but we'll see if he decides to go for it. They are just showing here 22 Banelings in production right
it's
now.
a lot of Banelings.
He's going to wait for the +2, surely, but he sees
Oh,
it
the
with
Warp
Warp
Prism.
He's still going to go.
Yep.
Oh
Here
my
comes
gosh.
Rex. The Banelings are rolling in. +2 melee attack almost complete at the same time, hitting the 4th base here for
Huge storms.
Astrea. The storms are huge, though. A lot of damage coming in, not only on the Roaches, but also on the Ravagers to the north. 9 probes going down on the southern base as those Banelings had some good connections, but the real story right now is whether Astrea's been able to hold on. I think the overcharge here on that shield battery going to buy him a bit of time.
Absolutely, man. Every time I see 11 probes go down, a lot of probes go down, I look at the work count. They're still dead even. Astrea's macro is on point.
Yeah.
4 probes in production constantly.
Ever since that first Roach attack, Rex hadn't made a single drone. He was making Link Bane the whole time since then, so he's
Right.
definitely pretty committed. He needs to get some damage done.
We do see the infestation pit coming down now. Do you think he'll be looking to transition here, or will he keep trying to brute force this?
Yeah, he'll transition behind it, but it's a bit slow if he wants to play into a longer game, so definitely has to get something done with the Baneling run. But I see he got 10 more probes there, but he's still down 6.
Yeah.
Do you think Overlord drops would have been a good choice with these +2 Bane?
Overlord drops are always a good choice. Let's be real.
True, that's why I was
You gotta
thinking,
pause the game when the Banelings about to drop, though, to really let them get the big connections.
ladder strats.
That literally happened to me one time, and I've never been so mad about anything in my life before. I could not split my probes. It was actually just infuriating.
I love Gemini having to take a break from observing the match to just
literally just
let
puts
out
the
this
mouse down.
frustration a little bit.
The best thing is, though, that I still beat that guy anyway, and I, paused the game when I started storming him. Oh my god, it was like the most roller coaster game ever, where I just want to punch someone so hard, and then I'm just like actually punching them in games. Like, it was wonderful.
The emotional highs and lows of ladder. Well, Astrea, man, it feels like this entire game, despite these Banelings getting good connections in, and that's
So
a nice
many
catch
Banes.
there for Astrea. He's been getting a ton of damage in, and not only that, his worker count has been at least on par with Rex the entire time, and oftentimes when we get into macro situations like this, unless it's Hero playing his kind of a map control heavy style, the Protoss player is going to be lagging behind the worker count compared to the Zerg, but instead, Astrea, despite really going blow for blow here, hasn't missed a beat on his macros. You've been pointing out, Steve. He's been fantastic, and now adding a second Stargate, adding a Fleet Beacon, +1 air weapons also underway, and 81 workers, so this is a really healthy Protoss economy. He's weathered the storm, so to speak, and Rex, although he is finally getting up to hive tech, it feels like he might have had some opportunities to get advantages that have slipped away, because now the Archon account is very high.
Yeah.
Astrea is beginning to transition into these very high-tech Protoss units while securing a 5th base, and
I think one thing Rex has going for him, he has very good creep spread on the sides of the map here, on these 2 lanes, the one down to the very bottom left and the other one near the watchtower. So these two-pronged attacks are going to be able to work out nicely
Oh,
here.
these Banelings.
And that's what we see as these Banelings run in.
ASTREA doesn't pull him fast enough. 11 probes going down. More
Can he get more?
connections.
Oh,
That's a lot of
16.
workers. 16 in total.
Okay, also runs in here, not able to get much time with these lanes and has to fall back as the storms rain down on him, but that's some good damage. And right now ASTREA is below 70 workers. Rex has his hive. Spire's on the way. Do you think we're going to see Broodlords here?
I think he could go into Broodlords, yeah. He definitely needs it eventually. If ASTREA maxes out on this army, it's going to be really hard for Rex to fight him with just Ravager Ling Bane. So you kind of need Broodlords in that case, but also you're scared of the Skytoss transition. So
Right.
Corruptors as well.
Absolutely, and we see Adrenal Glands and +3 melee coming down, so these Lings are going to be cracked, doing so much damage to everything. The Zealot Warp in here, not doing too much, but it does distract the Zerg as this Archon Force moves in on the other side.
It's a very scary army for the top.
Yeah, that Zealot Warp in. Diverting Rex's attention, and ASTREA is able to pick off a base, but Rex trying to get some counter damage in over here on the north side.
Once there's a
ASTREA
recall, that's
will be
really
recalling.
nice. Oh, it's not a big
Just a handful, 3 Immortals.
We're here, guys. We're gonna help defend the wings.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, look at that. He was anticipating the follow-up Ling run by of like 12 more Lings.
Yeah.
He knew he needed those 3 Immortals for the range damage, but
12 Corruptors on the way now, and could there be a big timing here?
oh my God,
Sorry,
29
about that.
workers.
29. And could there be a time here where the Broodlords come out before there's a significant Skytoss army?
You know, after that worker kind of devastation right there with almost 30 probes going down, if I'm ASTREA, I'm canceling that carry and I'm going all in here because his army supply is already on near the trip digits. You know that Rex is going to be making a transition. This is
True.
a huge weak point.
He does have 5 Nexuses with Chrono Boost, though, so he can catch back up in the probe numbers pretty quick here.
It just
He's
feels
still ahead
like
in supply. I don't think he needs to all in just yet.
it just feels like that this army here with 8 Archons, 7 Immortals, a ton of Storm
Oh my gosh.
is so hard to contest. But once these Broodlords are out,
Yeah, you might be right on that. If you can get up to a significant carrier count, though, there is the chance of playing the long game here, and he can buy time with these Zealot runbacks.
If you know about this Broodlord transition, he might be making Tempest right now. It's
Yeah.
a really nice choice, which makes it so that the Zerg can't really ever attack you. With this kind of Broodlord army, they'll all die to the Tempest.
Does he actually know right now
I'm
No.
not sure if he does.
that he has a great spire?
I'm
you,
not
you
sure
would
what
have
the
to
weapons
you would
on
have
the
to
main-
think he would start a Tempest.
Oh,
on
he
here.
does
did
know.
see it.
Oh, he actually did scout it.
Maybe he wasn't
Okay.
watching the Zealots, though. We don't know for sure.
Right.
Yeah, he saw it, but did he actually register
exactly.
it? Does he know?
Holy.
What? How many High Templar is that?
It's a lot of Templar. Okay, there we
Okay,
go.
going into
This
Archon
is so
side.
many Archons, man.
That looked like that one game you were playing on stream, Scarlet.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
screen capped that. I just see
53
you.
High Templar.
Man, I almost wish we were like back at Wings of Liberty so we can get like an Archon toilet with this many Archons. Like that's, like, look at this army. It's ridiculous. It's nothing but Templar, Archons, and Immortals. This ASTREA. I mean, despite morphing in all these, he still has 1,500 gas, and now he scouts the Broodlords. He continues carrier production, not canceling them, not making Tempest. So this is the path that he's decided to take here to counter.
Yeah, he definitely didn't know about the Broodlords when he watched that many Archons. Oh, nice storm.
Big storm with the Ravagers here. And both of them, well, Rex is now maxed out, so he can't make any more Broodlords. ASTREA has a bit of supply to play with here. What do you think he should max out on here? Just pure carriers?
Yeah, Carrier, Tempest work too. Either one. Just something in the air.
It's interesting that he's continuing to opt for the carriers, though, as opposed to mixing any Tempest, because as we said, I mean, Tempest with that range, coupled with an Oracle, could really be problematic for the Zerg, who doesn't have much anti-air besides these queens.
Right.
Yeah.
Is he just going to go for Neural here? Or what's his choice of anti-air going to be?
He's
Corrupt?
gonna
these
have to
Archons.
use the Queens for anti-air, which is not the best choice.
And
But
Rex is microing
Oh
the
my
Broodlords as
gosh.
well to prevent the Archons from getting back, and keep in mind that ASTREA recall is most likely on cooldown.
oh, it's back.
Does
Finally,
You
now
are
back.
wrong, State. I've never seen someone more wrong in my life.
Still, though, a ton of those Archons do go down. Big pick-off for Rex. And that's
Yeah,
what he
that
needed.
was a good pick-off there for him indeed. Is ASTREA, he will be able to leverage this new supply into more carriers, where Rex is kind of suffering in the anti-air department. And
Just no
Getting-
Corruptors out. This could be really rough
Right.
if he attacks
yeah.
into the Carriers.
Can we get a look at the unit tab really quick, Gemini?
There you go.
Yeah.
5 Carriers, yeah.
Even if he maxes out on pure Corruptor here, will he have enough? Yeah.
I don't think so. These Brewers are just dead,
is a
right?
real problem right
Zerg
now.
can't recall. He's
and
out.
He just GG.
GG is called. Rex feels like he has no answer for the carriers. I guess he had no idea this was underway, and
The Broodlords are too slow to run away there. They're all dead for free. So yeah,
Right.
it was
No
really
way
rough
to
for
get
him.
out of there. No anti-air.
Woo.
Ready to catch those carriers. And oh my gosh.
I didn't quite expect it to go that way. I mean, we kept seeing the carrier count build up and build up and build up, but I suppose that Rex was just caught completely off guard. We were scratching our heads wondering what the answer to the air army of Protoss was going to be, but instead, just going to tap out.
He never actually scouted the main base of the Protoss, I think, for a long, long time. So maybe he saw so many Archons and thought there wasn't at all an air transition.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost unintuitive, right, with how many Archons that ASTREA made.
Yeah.
He had, like, double-digit number of Archons,
Yeah.
it felt like, at some point, and on top of that, he had Templar with Storm, and he still had, like, 2K gas nearly banked.
Right. So much gas this game. The 5 bases were very quick. The probe count was huge. Even though he lost, like, how many probes did he lose that game? Must have been close to 50.
Yeah, 50.
Up
There was
there,
one
like-
point where he lost 30, and then the first bailing attack with, I think, +2 melee
Right.
was able to catch a good number. And
I think the good thing for Rex, though, is he can look at that game and say, oh, I actually defended the original Oracle harass very well. I got into the mid game in actually a decent position.
Yeah.
I think he had chances in that game.
Yeah, after he was getting so many probe kills, it really felt like ASTREA was on the back foot, but
Right.
ASTREA just kind of masterfully transitioning there into the late game with the air army, able to catch Rex unprepared and close that one out. Is ASTREA now leading 2-0. And guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, map number 3 between Rex and ASTREA. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the TASTELESS LAN party. We're in the middle of Rex versus ASTREA. ASTREA right now leading 2-0 in a pretty convincing fashion. He seems to really be on his A game.
Yeah, the last game went pretty well for Rex until like the very end, and then all of a sudden he lost. He had no anti-air ready.
Yeah.
But I thought the game was in a good position for him after he defended the first Immortal Archon attack.
I thought so too. Even if he hadn't moved out with the Broodlords, or if he had, I should say, if he hadn't moved out with the Broodlords, I felt like he might have even been in a good position if he was just defending back at home, because then maybe he would have some time to get an answer there for the carriers. But he just seemed completely blindsided. And guys, map number 3 is ready. Are we going to get another 2-0? It's ASTREA right now leading 3-0. Excuse me. I was like, yeah, of course we're going to get a 2-0. It's 2-0 already. ASTREA right now leading 2-0. Will he sweep Rex? Will we have? Oh God, 9-0. Kevin,
9-0.
my goodness. There we go.
It's okay. Pros players can't count.
Uh,
It's fine.
ASTREA is playing really well right now, and guys, want to thank you again for supporting the TASTELESS LAN party. Shaman Frank for getting 3 items of merch. He says, thank you for hosting TASTELESS LAN party number 2. It is our pleasure. It is so good to be doing this. It's so good to have a nice LAN atmosphere event here out in Korea. It's nice, you know, like it's been a long time.
Absolutely.
Like what, 10, 11, 12 years of StarCraft 2 history here in Korea. We've never really had an event like this, so it's a treat that TASTELESS is doing this. It's so much fun. And Space Cadet SEA as well donates $69 and
Nice.
Sasha, what does that message say?
Protoss best race house would we old people with low APM be able to compete. What do you think about that message, Ryan?
I mean, best for the old people, but not the best for those that want to win money. Faragia as well, purchasing 1 item of merch. Of course, guys, in addition to being able to donate directly for us to reach our Pro Gamer Jenga goal, or for us to reach TASTELESS LAN Party 2, or all these other fun goals like we have, TASTELESS potentially getting a mohawk at the end of this thing if we reach 10K. If you buy merch as well, a portion of that will be going directly to supporting the LAN. So go ahead, if you check out TASTESSthreads.com, check out the shirts, check out the hoodies. If you guys like what you see, consider it a
Absolutely.
donation. You're supporting the scene, supporting your favorite pro gamers.
And
Hopefully
you will
gonna get another
guarantee a third one, a third event, right?
Yeah.
And everyone here is wearing the merch, and it looks good, it feels good, so definitely check it out.
Honestly, I've worn like merch from companies in the past.
Yeah.
And it was not good.
Right.
Like even like creators that like I want to support. I'm like, oh, like this design is cool. I'm gonna buy this shirt, and then you wear it, and like the what should I say? Like the insignia, like the art that's on the front of the shirt, like we'll have this like weird texture on the
you gotta
inside. It's
feel
like
it?
grimy, and
Oh.
these ones are really nice. It is
Yeah.
not that case at all. This is high quality stuff, very comfortable, and so guys, if ring endorsements, if you're feeling like supporting the show, it's a great way to do it.
Absolutely, we appreciate all you guys. We are here in game number 3. ASTREA up 2-0 right now. Going for a similar opening here, it does have a Stalker along with that Stargate. So do you think this will be anything different coming out as we have a Stalker?
Oh, we'll see. This map is really easy to take a third base because there's the inner third base which has a few less mineral fields. But it's definitely probably Astrea's map pick here, and he might throw in something different, like a stalker build.
Look at this Adept.
Oh my god.
This Adept's on a
Did he
journey.
get two?
Out of range.
Got the lings though.
Yeah,
got
got
the
the
Ling.
Lings and the one drone again.
You take that trade, right?
I
As
think
Protoss?
the Zerg is not too unhappy about that.
Yeah, one drone for one Adept is not too shabby, but you'd like to shut that down completely. But you know, if you're playing a perfect game, we do see that first Oracle coming out here. So let's see how Rex does defending it this time.
It's not actually that bad on this map to lose the Adept though, because he doesn't need it to secure the third base.
Yeah, you can't get too much damage done with that Adept
Yeah,
now anyway,
true.
right? Like,
Yeah.
he's going to confirm the scouting there and check the gas geyser, make sure that there's not anything absolutely insane coming out of Rex, and does get a drone for his trouble.
Do you think losing that Adept suggests that you might not be going for an Adept push later, or is that not really matter?
I don't know if it makes that much of a difference.
Yeah, I guess it's just one Adept.
Yeah,
If you trade it out well, maybe it doesn't.
yeah. It slows down the Zerg as well, so
True.
you can afford to make another Adept play.
Yeah. Double Forge.
Oh.
Double Forge and Twilight coming
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, that's an interesting
This
kind
is-
of change. No robotics facility, double forged Twilight. What do you think we're going to see?
It could be Blink, could be Zealots. Hard to know for sure. But it's definitely taking advantage of the map where it's very easy to defend these three base locations.
Right.
Like,
With
it's
just
gotta
the
be
choke
Blink,
at the
right?
front.
I feel like I've seen Hero do this.
Okay,
is
it is
Blink,
Blink.
yeah.
It is Blink. Yeah.
Maybe going to see a little bit more of a hero-esque style of Protoss play now as the Oracle's once again coming in, trying to find some damage. They got to be
they
careful,
are
though,
shut
because there are,
down.
3 queens on the flank. Was able to get, what, 1 drone there? Excuse me.
Just the one.
Yeah, just
this
the
is
one.
A very good start for Rex. That Stasis Ward going down.
Oh, Rex didn't realize in time. Barely
too
skirting
cool, though.
away. 2 drones still get caught.
That's still good for Rex, and
That was close.
yeah, very close. And for the first time, we see him going for +1 range instead of that melee upgrade, and a fast, and a layer as well.
So the one time he chooses to go range upgrade the Protoss is not ideal.
Never
for
lucky.
him. Never lucky, yeah.
Never lucky.
As the shirt says. From the merch.
Speaking of merch, Flex Money and CapCB, thank you also for your support picking up an item of merch. Each Gauntlet Wizard with $50 says we need a runaway. We need a runaway for the Tasteless Styles Tasteless Fashion Week 1.
That would be so sick. Pro
No, we could
gamers-
honestly kind of do that. There are so many designs, and like all of us are wearing a different shirt right
yeah,
now.
dude, all the pro gamers going down the catwalk in the Tasteless merch. That would be sick.
How XUS? How Zeus? How would I pronounce this? What do you think,
Oh.
Sasha?
House shoes?
How Zeus?
Maybe?
Donates $25. Says, love having Scarlet on the caster set in lieu of Artosis. You guys just needed some Canadian presence.
That's a
Thank you guys so much for supporting the Tasteless LAN party. As our observer is very incessantly emphasizing the
He's
fact that
insistent we
ASTREA
look at
is
this.
going for a fleet beacon.
mothership rush here.
Yeah.
So what's Rex going? Swarmhost or something? This
No
is very
second
fast
Stargate.
infestation,
Swarmhost,
but
yeah.
yeah, Swarmhost.
Oh man, I love this play out of ASTREA. Corner
It's great to see
minerals
some
and corner
different
gas
strategies
banks.
in this game, and I'm really curious how this is going to play out.
Actually, surprisingly, Mothership is very good against Swarmhost because you can cloak the bases and the Locust can't really do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Is ASTREA just doing this? Like, is this like a thing he's doing, or does he actually somehow sniff out the swarm host without even seeing the infestation?
I heard them talking about that ASTREA did this earlier against Rex,
Oh yeah.
like a few weeks ago or something. They were talking about this earlier today.
And was that
so-
like a total meme, or was? he-
Yeah, it was probably a bit of a meme.
Well, he's up 2-0.
Because I know I remember. Do you remember Prince did like a mothership rush and like an actual build versus some Zergs like last year?
I'm not sure I saw that game.
It was actually kind of sick.
Yeah, it's surprisingly
gosh.
strong.
And he confirms the position of these swarm hosts. You want to catch the pros by surprise with the first wave at least, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
He sees it very early and is going to be able to force the wave out before it even gets to the base.
The creep is very nice for Rex, and because ASTREA took this base on the bottom, it's pretty close to his base.
yeah, the creep spread for Rex right now is fantastic, but these swarm hosts just getting absolutely nothing done.
Rex is only on 68 workers here, so he needs to get some damage done.
Oh, a lane drop in the main gun.
Very. Oh.
Yeah, Rex is trying to find damage where he can, but he's getting deflected both on the main base and over here at the third.
Sees the mothership now.
Excuse me.
This is when it's going to get tough for him, when he can't see anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rex is going to have to make something happen, and here he comes in with the roaches. Those swarm hosts not yet recharged.
This next wave could be huge.
Yeah, he's up 50 supply. The queens are here to shut down the Oracle.
The mothership's not here.
Yeah, the
That's pretty
mothership's not
good
out
for
yet.
That huge investment has not paid off yet, and the big wave coming in now, this is going to be massive damage on this fourth base. And Rex is pushing. He's not even using the Locust to fight the main army.
No,
They're
he's
taking out
focusing down the
this-
pylons. He's
Right.
trying to get rid of the defenses over there on the fourth base, and now ASTREA at risk of losing that cybernetics core. He's going to have to replace that straight away as the
mothership's
mothership
out.
finally arrives. But man, a lot of damage has already been dealt here.
The aggressive blinks. Will he keep going?
Overseers
There's
are
two
even
overseers.
So no.
Two overseers in position will reveal this army. Oh, ASTREA going for a
my
really
God.
ballsy move here, blinking under and picking off both overseers, but there's a third one.
Yeah.
Pocket
That's the guy that
overseer.
just keeps on taking sunglasses off his
going
face.
again.
Like, you're not going to get me.
Oh, he goes in again.
Oh my gosh, and Rex is destroyed. Oh no, he can't see it again.
You can't
He's
see him
not
again.
close to him.
Yeah, he sniped the third overseer, but man, the stalker count right now all the way down to 4, as ASTREA has pretty much no army to speak of. 104 army supply to 21 as this mothership rush really not getting its money's worth.
Hey, I love it. I respect it. You know, we love to see it in Game 3 here. Show us a different build, something exciting, you know. Hasn't quite worked out for him this game, but it was really cool to see.
Yeah, the situation wouldn't be as bad for ASTREA as it is if he hadn't lost the cybernetics core, because it's still only about 3/4 of the way done.
Right.
And he's still floating 1,000 minerals or so, even after working in all these zealots, and that's not the unit that he wants in this situation. He needs stalkers. Time War going to come down for the mothership core. That's not going to do very much.
Yeah, and he's pushing through it. If that first Locust wave had hit a little bit later, this could have been really good for ASTREA, because he has so many upgrades on the way. The mothership was coming out. But Rex hitting a crisp timing here, and is getting big damage. Even these Lings reinforcing now. Overseers showing everything, and Rex overwhelms ASTREA in Game 3.
Yeah, Rex with some really smart swarm host play and catching our Protoss player a little bit unprepared there. He went for 2 Forge, he went for a mothership, and ASTREA is just kind of in the dark.
It's a little too greedy from the
Right.
Protoss.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
2
like, if
Forge.
you leave me alone
Yeah.
for long enough, like the
no,
game's done.
It's like a no rush 20 game, man. Like
Exactly, yeah.
two Forges, 4th base, mothership.
Yeah, he's on like 7 gas too.
It was, how many workers did he have as well? He did like the ASTREA thing where he was up at like 80 plus
Yeah,
workers.
The
yeah.
ASTREA
Almost
thing.
80.
The ASTREA thing.
Well, I mean, like,
He wanted a respectable macro game.
yeah, Rex didn't give it to him. I mean, we saw the mothership there with the, like, at the same time the swarm hosts were coming out, and we were thinking,
Yeah.
oh, this isn't too bad because he'll be able to cloak the bases
Yeah.
from the waves. But
Right.
Rex cut his drone count quite heavily and just really emphasized the roaches and the timing attack there and got a ton of damage in. And ASTREA was never able to get the ball rolling.
Even the little Ling drops as well.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like 3 probes here, 4 probes there. It all starts to add up, and Swarmo's play is so, like, it either, you know, is, what is it, like, you either kill them with it, or you get huge damage, or they push the first 2 waves back, and then it's really hard to get anything done, right? Especially without a Nidus, which you often see. If the Protoss gets on top of the first couple waves, they can really shut it down, but he did get that damage done in the end.
Yeah, we saw Rex cutting workers below 70 there. It was like all roaches after the swarm host. And it almost felt like the swarm host didn't really do much. ASTREA just kind of died to the roaches there, the roaches and the few queens, because he hardly had any army there.
Yeah, there was that one point where he had like 4 stalkers in total. Rex playing masterfully, and he's going to take his first map in this series, guys. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, ASTREA versus Rex, Game 4. Hello, and welcome back to the Tasteless LAN Party 2. As we're about to go into game number 4 between Rex and ASTREA. ASTREA right now leading 2-1, going to kind of an interesting build there in game number 3. 4 bases, 2 Forge, Mothership Rush. You don't see it very often. For the fans.
For the
Gemini, are we going to see that on a Build of the Week?
Dude, no, I was talking to like Scarlett. Like Prince literally did like a similar thing where like you were saying you used to do this years back. You make a mothership. You actually do like a formatted build, and then you rally the mothership all across the edges of the map and recall into their main and kill them.
It's so much fun.
It's great. It's
like
actually amazing.
It's one of the most fun builds to do ever. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't competed in like 5 or 6 years in StarCraft 2, but sometimes I will still like go on the ladder and I'll just be like, I'm gonna do it to this poor Gold League guy. It's like I'm unranked, right?
You're actually just the complete
You're evil,
jerk.
dude. You're
I'm
evil.
unranked though, you know. Like after you don't play for a long time, like You got to grind back up.
I'm
so
just sitting here doing it
grind
versus
through
like, you know,
gold,
like
yeah.
5, 6 Korean Zergs or whatever, and you're here smashing some kid that's coming back after 6 years of play and like, I'm going to play some StarCraft. Oh my god, there's a mothership in my base.
It's so much fun, though, man. Just get one mothership, you move it all the way around the corner of the map, and then you force field their ramp like the good old days. You know they don't have any Ravagers back then. Scarlet just face palmed.
Disgusting.
That guy's pretty 35, pretty come home from his job, loaded up StarCraft, sees that gold league. Oh, yeah, all right, nice, comfortable game. Mothership pops up.
This dude just like hates his life. He's
That's
coming
me.
back
I'm
after
that guy.
such a 12-hour
That's me.
workday. His boss is just like grinding him, like, Ward, get this thing out. He's just like, I just want to play some StarCraft when I get home.
Marriage is falling apart. His children hate him.
All right, that's cutting a bit close. But yeah,
Oh, you just described every StarCraft player's life. Oh my god.
Oh, no.
StarCraft players don't get married. Come on.
Damn, we're going okay.
No, I'm joking,
just gonna
of
go back to
course.
observing now.
Yeah. I'm joking.
Is that a cheese wedge that just popped down under his spawning pool?
Yeah,
Is it
it's
the
a spray.
And we got
He
good old.
forgot his spawning pool or something.
Why?
He started his spawning pool at past 300 minerals, so either it got blocked or he forgot it.
Straight let him know what's up.
What's the? Is this what the? Yes.
Yeah.
The thing.
I saw Rex spamming that before the game.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, definitely an in control.
Such a great face.
It is.
Such a great emoji.
So good.
Well, ASTREA blocking that natural hatchery for a long time. Going to force Rex to take the 11 o'clock position there as his third. Natural hatchery now going down. And from ASTREA in Game 1 and Game 2, we kind of saw the same thing twice, which was a fast Stargate going into Oracles, into Immortal Archon, Zealot, but Game 3 mixed it up with kind of a meme build, let's be real, and now here in Game 4, going for a fast Twilight Council. So perhaps going to be an Adept timing?
Yeah, most likely blink timing. Sorry, not blink timing. Adept 4-gate glaives. But we'll see what he adds next with his next 100 gas.
Do you think that, I want to pick your brain a little bit on this.
Sure.
Him going for 4-gate glaives in this situation, is that more of a build order mix-up because it's a best of 5 series? Or do you think that Waterfall is a little bit better for this build in general?
It's the hardest map to defend against like a Zerg all-in. So if they want to punish the Stargate build with a, like Overlord drop similar to what Solar did. This is the best map.
What makes it so good on this map?
Is it because of this low ground area getting to the third base?
Yeah, the third base in the natural area is really open. The gap between it and the rush distance is also pretty short.
We're all just like nodding.
Yeah.
Teach us more.
I see it.
Teach us more. Robo now coming in.
So we have 3 gates, and he still has full gas mining. So
Yeah.
this isn't exactly the normal 4-gate glaive build. It
Could this
looks
be
like.
DTs?
No, I think the Dark Shrine would be up already. But oftentimes when we see a
too
glaive
late, right,
build...
yeah.
Wait, there's no.
Oh,
The
yeah,
glaives
okay, there
just
it is.
started.
Oh, wait, did he forget glaives? I kind of think he
I'm
might have,
confused.
right? Okay, well, some Lings coming in. The Adept will eventually get taken out.
Dies. He has nothing here to kill the Lings. He might lose his side.
No, there's no way.
He's going to warp it more.
Fuck the whole guy.
It is unlucky that he lost the Adept, though, because if you're a little bit quicker there with the Shade in and the Pylon behind the Adept, you are able to get the Shade off before the Adept actually dies.
Right.
But
Rex does have his Roach Foreign down here in good time, and he's making units. He's stopped drone production right now, so he's at 42. I think the normal number here is kind of like 38 to 40-ish, is it?
oh, he's gearing up for a timing.
Yeah, normally you want to stop around 40 drones against this, but like there's no fourth gate. The glaives it's really late. It should be done around now.
Do you think he's doing this because he's afraid of the build? Not going for a timing? You think it's going to be a lot of Adepts? Because if I'm Rex coming in, getting 1 Adept and not finding too much more Protoss, I'm really feeling pretty confident.
3 workers and a lot of lost mining time here is actually significant, as the big push hasn't even started yet.
I don't think there is going to be a big push.
He's already going into disruptors. Yeah, that Robo Gate finishing up.
Yeah, perhaps ASTREA, after seeing those Lings early, deciding that he won't be able to get too much damage in. And
Yeah,
luckily for him, he went for 3 gateways as opposed to 4, so it's not much of a commitment.
Right, and he has resumed pro production again. He has the gas on his natural, so he should be looking to tech up here.
He's going into disruptors here.
Right.
Yeah, against a very Ling-heavy composition, and critically, there is no third base up yet for ASTREA.
Oh, is it disruptor dropped?
Suppose so.
Adept push with disruptors.
No Warp Prism speed, I don't think.
Do you think he'll use the
I love
disruptors at the
Gemini
front,
trying to click on the robotics bay to show us the
Dude,
upgrade.
dude, I hate that.
But the observer AI.
I literally hate that. That's the
observer-
thing I hate the most about observing in this game. It's so annoying.
The observer
Get these stupid overlays out of here. This is gonna be the default AI UI.
Observer UI doesn't show it, so he just frantically waves the mouse in front of the production tab.
It's like, look, no upgrade, nothing.
Yeah, no warp prism speed. All right, first a disruptor shot coming in. Not able to find too much, so just going to settle for a hit there on the queen. But so far, it feels like Rex has been kind of artfully deflecting pretty much everything ASTREA has thrown his way. And ASTREA, this third base at 6 minutes is quite late.
Right, it's been a bit of a wonky start to this game, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if ASTREA was gonna commit to a few warpings of Adepts and go and then change his mind after delaying it, like missing the upgrade slightly, and this is what he's come up with on the fly. Blink is coming down now, and we see more Stalkers being added as a Forges as well. He's going to try and secure this third base. Economically, I'd say he's pretty decent for Rex. He's already at that 3-base saturation, but what ASTREA has going for him are these 2 disruptors, which in a Warp Prism can actually do a lot of damage if you're caught sleeping even once.
And defensively, it's going to be tough for Rex to push ASTREA as well, because those disruptors, they're worth their weight in gold, coupled with those shield batteries.
Sorry, say the minerals.
Worth their
Worth
weight
the
in
weight in
minerals.
We're not playing Warcraft 3, sorry, just letting you know.
And it's 7 minutes, and Rex has just started his roach speed upgrade, so he's not going to be able to have map control for some time here, even if his army is good. But oh my gosh, actually catching this warping forces the disruptors to fire, backs off, and now he's going to have to split as best he can to avoid these shots. Banelin's just more.
It's a little scary here, though, for ASTREA.
It's
a
scary
lot of
for both
high
of them, honestly. Like,
yeah, there's a lot on the line here with this push.
and this Ling flank is being set up here, which could catch the disruptors if they try and fall back. He's hanging out. Is he? Okay, he's going to go home. Adding on more gas.
I think it's a smart move by ASTREA moving back there, because not really able to get too much damage in is ASTREA's. Rex had a good number of units in position to defend. Now, ASTREA coming in with these warp prisms and 2 disruptors are going to be going back across the map, and Rex is moving across. No Baneling speed yet, though, makes me think that he's not going to commit to a push.
Right, and he's actually droning behind this a lot. We've just seen 2 huge rounds of drones come out, 11 in production there, so he will be going into the 85-ish drone area, and that's going to set him up for a long game if he wants to go that way.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah, and he has Bane speed, +1 melee's finishing. Maybe we're going to see him try to go into the style he seemed to prefer in the first 2 games, like these highly upgraded Banelings, try to do some worker damage.
Yeah, immediately starts +2 melee attack, so you're certainly right on that front.
A lot of links here.
Yeah,
Not
gonna
going to be able to get that base. They do have to pull back. Oh my gosh, big disruptor shots.
Oh, those are
13
huge!
drones!
13
Oh.
drones go down. ASTREA getting the money shot over there. That's so many kills.
And that's what we're talking about. 2 disruptors in War Prism, so dangerous. If you're not looking for 1 second, suddenly the economic situation could be flipped on his head. He still has a good drone count, 78, and he is going to go back up into the A's here.
Yeah, oftentimes we see disruptors really not get a lot of value after that opening window, you know? Like the Protoss player, whether or not they get Warp Prism speed, it's the first couple shots that are going to either give value or not. But ASTREA coming in, perhaps when Rex expected it the least, and snatching up 13 drones is going to equalize things economically quite a bit here.
Yeah, and if you look at Rex's game plan throughout this set, I think this is exactly what he wanted, right? Good upgrades, a lot of Ling Bane, having his army split up in 2, being able to pressure these bases and see if he can force a mistake from ASTREA and get those Banelings in the mineral line, basically. That's going to
Very
be
well
his plan.
said.
Yeah, he's really been liking these low-tech, like layer-only attacks with Ravager Ling Bane. It looks like he's probably going to go into it again. Although Infestation Pit's a bit late to just do a normal transition into Hive, so he's definitely going to try and get something done beforehand.
Yeah, that's a lot of Lings, a lot of Banes. Roaches as well. Really just a lot of Zerg, as he's at 96 army supply. We'll see if he's going to try and break ASTREA on that 4th base, but it feels like there isn't too much that can be done. There's 4 photon cannons here, shield battery, 3 disruptors, and a good number of Archons, so it feels like ASTREA, at least on the defensive front, kind of has an answer for everything as he's continuing to power up, adding 4 more gateways. Meanwhile, Rex really starting to fill out his tech tree, getting his Hive, his Spire, +2 melee attack about to finish, and you got to think that Broodlords, will eventually be on the way.
Right, he could go for a similar timing that he tried in the last time, but what's different in this game is that that Sky Toss isn't anywhere near being ready to be online, so he could be able to hit a big time here if he does get these Broodlords out.
Yeah, there's not even a Stargate from the opening because they opened Glaives, so the Sky Toss transition takes a lot longer to just get started even.
Absolutely, so he's going to have to deal with it with, what, Blink Stalkers? And
Yeah,
Storms?
Storm.
Yeah, it's tough to deal with that. Perhaps
Also-
ASTREA, if he's not going to go for Sky Toss, might be wiser to try and hit a timing before those Broodlords are actually out.
Maybe, but the way Rex is set up here, he's positioned on both flanks to try and run in and do a backstab and kill a lot of probes if ASTREA does move out on the map. So it's tough to move out, but he's going to try here.
I think that
Oh my gosh,
that's
this
a lot of
army is so
Archons.
scary.
And Rex is playing such a Baneling heavy style. Look, there's
Right.
so many Banelings, there's so many Lings, there's not a lot of high-tech units here for Rex, and
So
this
many
composition
Archons.
for
Oh my
ASTREA is
God.
just going to destroy it. Rex now is going to try and come on both sides, coming with a flank. Full surround, but the Archon's deflecting it with ease, and the Rex dipping now to 170 supply as ASTREA is going to take the space out. In the meantime, at the 3 o'clock position, he's taking down the 5th. Is Rex really kind of falling apart at the seams? It feels like ASTREA just has the complete answer here with his unit composition, and Rex has nothing to do. The Greater Spire starts now, but Broodlords are more than a minute away, and you got to think that ASTREA is putting him on the clock.
All right, this low-tech army just can't compete with all the gas put into this Protoss force of Archons, Storms, Disruptors. He's basically got everything except the air units. Like, so much value in this army, and the Lings just don't do enough damage.
Yeah, it looks like Rex's plan is just try and counterattack and draw ASTREA back home to buy time for the Greater Spire.
Yeah, Rex is scrambling to try and buy time, and you see he's also not remaxing just yet. Starting some Corruptors, he wants to keep a bank up for the Broodlords, but that Greater Spire only halfway done. If ASTREA realized the situation, and he might have an inkling of it now.
Oh, this is going to be scary, this warp in here.
Yeah, this Warp Prison
many
coming
gates
into
does
the
he
main base.
Oh, he's no supply open though, only one Zealot.
This is the worst feeling as a Protoss player. You're like, I'm so good, I'm going to harass.
But he
wait
sees
a
the
minute.
Greater Spire at 80%, and I think that's going to be the trigger for him to come in and attack now.
Right, he actually gets a great scout there.
And look at this Protoss army. That's so many Archons, 5 Disruptors as well, a handful of Stalkers, and you got to think that.
You need a lot of Broodlords to deal with this army. Even.
And he doesn't really have that much of a bank, only 600 gas, 151 supply. Even if Rex makes as many Broodlords as he can, he's not going to have much of a ground army to accompany them. And you got to think that ASTREA, if he pushes in for the kill, he'll be able to secure this victory with a 3-1 here in this best of 5.
21 drones, 22 drones going down, 5 Broodlords on the way, but they are not going to be ready in time. Trying to counterattack here with some roaches, but they can't even get past the static defense.
Rex trying to find any kind of counter damage, but faltering
Here
just
comes
a
the
bit here.
Broodlords.
Broodlords now morphing in, but it's only 5 of them, and there's so much here in terms of ground army for ASTREA. Disruptor shots coming in, connecting with the roaches. There are a ton of Archons. +3 ground weapons about to finish as well for the Protoss, but the Broodlords, they're doing work. They're deflecting this just a little bit, but at the end of the day, Rex is at 96 supply with only 2 hatcheries. Stalkers blinking in now. Broodlords going down, and ASTREA might win this best of 5.
Beautiful play from ASTREA there. Notices his timing and just goes.
I've
Nice.
seen it like 4 or 5 times now, but it gets a laugh out of me every single time. And man, ASTREA just really playing a great series there. I mean, he had a kind of a funky build in game number 3, but the rest of the maps just absolutely solid. Solar said in his interview that he was afraid of playing ASTREA there in the following match, and that's the matchup he's going to get, is ASTREA with a really masterful PVZ.
They say you can't see images, but when I see that picture of Taste of saying GG, I hear it right here every time. GG, you know, the classic. But yeah, like you said, ASTREA played so well. He gave us a fun game in game 3, but apart from that, it was really solid play.
Props to Rex as well. I mean, that was a great series. Like, it felt like game 1, he was a little bit caught off guard with the playstyle that ASTREA came in with. He lost a lot of drones. I think it might have been as many as 15
Yeah,
there.
15 to the Oracles.
To the Oracles, and I think some small adept run by. But after that, he really tightened up the ship. And we had some very interesting games. I mean, the series was 3-1, but honestly, it felt a lot closer than that. As, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining us here on the cast. As, we're going to be going to a short break, guys. When we get back, I think we have a StarCraft Brood War show match coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
We're not doing an interview with ASTREA or anything?
I'm sorry?
We're not doing an interview with ASTREA or anything?
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
where's
What
ASTREA?
am I talking about? Where's
This guy over
ASTREA?
here.
Get him over it.
Should we have Andy sit to the side again?
Yeah, dude, let's get Andy to translate for us. Yeah, sure. Andy, where you at?
I will dip out.
Okay.
ASTREA. Come on here on the couch, man. I almost robbed you of your interview. Autopilot here. All right,
Hello.
ASTREA,
Welcome, nerd.
you won 3-1.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Feel pretty good. I think I played, not bad. I don't think I played my best, but I think I played not bad that series.
Yeah, it felt like you were kind of firing on all cylinders there right from the get-go. I mean, honestly, whenever there's like kind of technical issues that you have to resolve, at least for me in my experience as a player, that can be kind of tilting and like throw me off my game. Did you feel jarred at all starting the first map?
I was just like a little bit stressed more than anything, but by the time the first map rolled around, I think I felt fine. So.
Yeah, you got like 15 drone kills there in map number 1. What do you think went so well for you in that one? Because oftentimes we'll see Protoss players, they try to find some kind of damage with oracles and they're not really able to get anything. Was there like a weakness that Rex had that you were exposing, or do you think you did something particularly well?
I don't know. I just move my oracles in circles, and sometimes the queens aren't there, and I shoot the drones down. So.
Can you at least make it sound like our race like takes some skill or something? Like you're sitting here, I'm just drawing pictures while playing. It's like, what do you know?
I'm here like, man, ASTREA, what do you do right? What do you think you did wrong? It's like, oh, I just go in circles and Protoss, dude. What do you expect?
Just slap my head on the keyboard. Sometimes the oracles get kills, they don't. I don't know.
I mean, is that not how it is? You just keep moving them, and then like, I mean, okay, you kind of keep a mental image of where you think the queens are. That is one thing you actually do. But other than that, just keeping the oracles moving is the most important thing. And like, pay attention to where the overlords are and try to come in from an angle you think there's no vision.
Yeah.
Or you can just say that you're moving them in circles.
So one thing that I was kind of wondering about, and I guess we're wondering about on the break, was so game 3, you're up 2-0. We're going into a map where it's really easy to take that backdoor third base. And you went 2 Forge, Mothership, 4th base. Was that like kind of a meme? Like you were feeling like really confident and you thought you could just do something funny? Or was that actually like a build that you came in as a plan on that map?
It's like slightly memey, but I think it's actually good as long as you can survive, obviously. I didn't survive.
What do you survive? Like what attacks can you survive going to Forge Mothership 4 base?
Well, I mean, if they just only build +1 melee, which is what they do a lot of the time, then it's pretty easy to survive, actually.
Really?
You just turtle.
Like a Hydra Bane attack or something?
Hydra Bane attack, you can, I think the Mothership is probably out by then.
Okay.
It might be hard to hold, but I don't know. Maybe it's survivable. Especially with like 2-2, if that gets out.
Are we going to see Mothership from you against Solar?
You got to. Have you ever done the recall in the main? Just put it, just move it around the edges of the map and just.
Well, that's the whole point of the build, right? Like I play
You
this,
were intending on doing that there with 4 bases?
like I play like that normally, except I just play without the Mothership. But if you play with the Mothership, it's a lot stronger. Once the Mothership comes out, like normally you just attack with 2-2 and Archon charge lots and Stalkers. But if you have a Mothership, it's even better because you go straight to their side of the map.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun too. You know it's got to be tilting for the Zerg as well.
Yeah.
Would have been a brutal way to close out a series. Like imagine if that had worked and like that's the way that like you lose 3-0 is like a Mothership just recalls in your main base. Yeah, what a gut-wrenching feeling that would be.
So what exactly was your plan with the build in game 4? What happened there?
I just forgot glaives, but it's meant to.
Easy.
The
race is actually really difficult.
What went well in game 1? Oh, I just ran around with oracles and circles. What happened in game 4? Oh, I forgot to get an upgrade.
I didn't do the most important thing of the build. You know, like.
I mean, it's meant to hit with 8 adepts, and it's like a normal glaive timing, except you have a very fast Robo Bay follow-up. So it's actually a reasonably strong build, unless you lose adepts early to lings and then forget glaives.
And you're not doing a timing with the disruptors or anything? You're just going into a third behind it?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think your third can be pretty fast. I could have built it faster than I did, maybe like close to 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 minutes or something that was going down, right?
Yeah, there were some mistakes that game for sure.
And when you saw that you forgot glaives, you just decided to warp in less adepts?
No, I still think I had the same number, no?
No, you didn't go for 8. You had, I think, 3 in the Prism, and you tried to find some damage, and then you went to Disruptors. And
well, I had 2 on the left, and I had 3 in the Prism, and I lost
did you?
2 or 3 early. I can't remember exactly, but I think I still had 8 total, unless I...
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, just given that you said like your oracles run around in circles and you forgot glaives, I'm not really feeling very confident in you knowing how many adepts that you made in that game.
This interview is just us making fun of a pro gamer while we are just not as good. Like.
So, on the game 2 on Cosmic, were you aware he was doing a Broodlord transition there?
I figured some sort of transition was coming. I wasn't exactly sure when it was going to hit, but
Okay.
yeah. I didn't expect them to stay on Ling Ravager while I had a max
Ling
army
Ravager?
of...
Yeah.
Yeah, like you had so many Archons in pretty much
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
single game too. Is that just a part of your play style, is going for these really Archon-heavy compositions, or is that you specifically trying to counter Rex? Because he really does seem to like the Ling Bane.
I mean, well, Archons are good versus biological units, and all the Zerg units are biological.
The
So
buildings too.
yeah. They do extra damage to all the Zerg units, so it turns out to be pretty strong. And they have a lot of HP.
They also do a lot of damage. They also don't really die that
They
much.
hit hard.
They're just kind of good. They're pretty big too, you know.
They don't cost very many.
They look
minerals.
cool.
I think
All right,
that-
Sasha,
They,
you're
they,
right.
sound, they make cool quotes when you click
Sasha,
on
you're
them.
right. Sasha, you're right. Protoss is a junk
I didn't
race.
say anything.
No, I mean,
Uh,
Archons are just Archons are obviously good versus Zerglings and Bands.
Yeah.
If they play
You just
Bannerman-
had so many of them. You
Yeah.
had like half the screen is just like little cotton balls of Archons just like floating across the map.
if they don't have Broodlords or a lot of Lurkers, if you get a maxed army of Archons and Disruptors, you basically can't beat. Maybe Vipers, but I don't know, it's really hard to beat it without a good transition. So
Well, you play Solar next, so you got another PVZ. How are you feeling? Because in his interview, he was saying he's a little bit afraid of you.
yeah, he should be.
Oh.
You think it's gonna be a 3-0?
No. But I don't know. I play with Mintu a lot on ladder, and we play custom sometimes, and it's pretty even, I think. So I'd say just look forward to a good series.
Cool. All right. Well, now that we've done the interview, and I'm not forgetting it this time, guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, I think we have a StarCraft Brood War show match ready for you. So stay tuned. We'll be there in a minute.